Welcome to Wordner's Visualize Your Vocabulary. Today, our first word is trenchant. Now, trenchant is an adjective, and this is basically means you can go ahead and convince other people to do things as well too. Be very incisive. A lot of politicians are actually great at being trenchant because that's what their rhetoric is. They're very trenchant. And you remember this with trench ant. Now, this ant himself is supposed to be working on the trench, but he's so trenchant that he convinces other ants to work harder. So all he can do all day is just stand on his shovel. Our next word is somnolent. Somnolent is an adjective, and this is basically means you can go ahead and you're very dozy. You're like sleepy and things like an insomniac. And so let's just say the name is Nolan. And now you go to the door of an insomniac. You are also an insomniac pills salesperson, door-to-door salesperson. You go ahead and offer him things, and then he basically says, "I'll take some, Nolan." And he's like, "Which ones?" All of it. Alright. Next up, we have congenial. Congenial just basically means you're harmonious with something as well. When someone's congenial, that basically with someone else, that just basically means that person's harmonious with someone else. And remember this with fun, genie, owl. Now with a fun genie owl, there is a lot of things you can do here too. You go ahead and make rubber lamp, and then what comes out is a congenial fun genie owl. Whatever you use for it, he basically laughs and says, "Now isn't that a hoot?" Next up, we have inimical. Oh, I misspelled that. Inimical. Inimical is an adjective, and this basically means you're adverse, someone that's very mean, who does things in a way that just makes other people hate it. You remember this with an M I call, so that's a lot to be talking about here too. Now, you go ahead, remember like this, there's an M who goes to terrorizes the children in the sandbox, and you basically think, "Oh, that's an M I call mean." Alright, our next word is modicum. Now, modicum is a noun, and this is basically means you're going ahead and you're shredding something. And so, you go ahead, you find your friend Monica. Now, Monica is basically has a speck on her dress, and you're basically like, and she's worried about it, and you're all like, "Hey, Monica, don't worry about it, it's just a speck, no one's going to notice." Alright, next up we have adumbrate. Adumbrate just basically means you're going ahead and you're indicating something too. So this is giant brain who goes ahead and hatches the plan to escape, and you go ahead and explain it to the plan to the other brains. So one of the brains are stupid. They come from the person with -1 IQ. And so you go ahead and he says, "What am I supposed to do again?" And he's like, "Sigh, this isn't going to work." Alright, next up we have discursive. Now, discursive is an adjective, and this just basically means you're very digressive. It's like if your essay is discursive, that just basically means that it is talking about nonsense. And so you remember this with discursive. So your teacher hands you back your essay, and she says, "This is the best cursive I've ever seen, but your essay rambles on about nothing. It has nothing related to the topic. Your cursive, A+. Your topic, D-." Alright, next up, we have impinge. Impinge is a verb, and this just basically means you go ahead and you're violating someone. And here's how you actually violate in this case. So you look at this old rich guy, and he basically calls the waitress the cutest thing, and so he pinches her cheek a lot, and now it's starting to get a little red. He's impinging her personal space. Next up, we have brusque. Now, brusque is basically an adjective, and this basically means whoever is brusque is doing something very curtly. Now, you're at a hairdresser, and you go ahead, and instead of just offering you a sit, she basically points at the chair and says, "Sit." Like, she orders you, "Sit." And next up that happens is this. You go ahead, you sit down, and then you cock your head a little bit in a direction that makes it a bit uncomfortable for her. Instead, what does she do? She goes ahead and cuddly, or brusquely, slaps you on the head with a brush. I think they should fire her. And finally, we have tantamount. Tantamount. Tantamount is an adjective, and this just basically means identical. When two people are tantamount, that basically means they're identical. So I guess tantamount twins equals identical twins. Now, there are these two tentacle twins. When they go ahead, one of them goes for the spray tanning, the other goes for the tanning beds. When they come out, they have the tantamount tans. Slap. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll see you guys soon. Until next time, shout peace. Bye bye. Tantamount. Adjective. Brusque. Adjective. Impinge. Verb. Discursive. Adjective. Adumbrate. Adjective. Boycom. Adjective. Inimical. Adjective. Congenial. Adjective. Somniac. Adjective. Somnolent. Adjective. Trenchant. Adjective.